Welcome to Feel Good Talk, where our focus is on mind, body, soul, and business. You are now tuning into Let's Talk About It with your girl Izzy Meditates and your girl Kendra Moore. Hi, Kendra.
Good evening. Good evening,
Hello, my
everybody.
girl. Happy Thursday.
I know. Finally made it. Jeez. Well, it's not Friday yet, but good Lord, it's been a long week so far.
Yes. I was good until we had the gas issue. That was my thing this week.
Yeah, I
Trying to find
know.
gas.
So you ended up finding gas.
Yeah, it took me about 45 minutes as I rode around town. And my immediate thought when a gentleman had told me, I was out at a cafe and Cass and I were having, of course, a piece of cake and some
Right,
coffee.
right.
And the gentleman said, yeah, the pumps, you're going to have to wait a half an hour to get gas. And I was like, no way. So I was like, I'll just go to Walmart. I'll just go to Walmart and get some gas. Well, when I went to Walmart and I saw the signs and it said no gas or whatever the sign said, my
Yeah,
heart
yeah,
just
yeah.
dropped. I was like, this is real.
It's so real. And you know what's
Yeah.
crazy? No issues up here.
Yeah. That's
They're like
crazy.
no issues up here. So you guys were panicking and we were just like, la da
Yeah.
da.
I'm like,
And now
dude.
the gas pipelines, I think, are back on. So everybody can calm way down.
Yeah. I'm thinking if Walmart doesn't have gas, we are in deep doo doo.
Oh, no, that's right.
Yeah, but I finally found it. I waited for like a half an hour and I was good after that. But it doesn't take I $20 fills my tank. I got a little tiny Kia and that'll last me
Okay.
about 10 days. So I'm good
Yeah.
to go. So
And we're all
hopefully we'll
not
have
driving a whole lot. At least I'm not, like I
yeah,
used
right.
to, because my son's still doing hybrid learning. So
Yeah.
I'm not, driving, and I'm working from home. So I'm not doing the 20-minute commute.
Right,
So,
right.
so
So that
that
helps
helps
out.
a lot.
I was telling
Yeah.
people, I was like, dude, if the gas goes, then the toilet paper is gonna go. We really need to go get toilet paper.
Oh boy, here you go.
I went and got
Here
toilet
you
paper too.
go.
I wasn't playing.
Mm-mm-mm. Yes.
So
But
today we are here to talk. We always have an interesting topic. This is a sensitive topic, but we like to bring awareness to it, and it is about body shaming. Body
yes.
shaming is huge, and if for those who don't know what body shaming is, I'm going to read you the definition. Body
Yep.
shaming is the act or practice of humiliating a person based on their body type by making critical and or mocking statements about their body, shape, and size. Body shaming is a form of bullying in which a person is physically targeted by their appearance. And this goes
Right.
for males and females. It's across the
Yeah.
board. Yeah, it doesn't, stop at race or anything, whether you're um, overweight, underweight. It's
Yeah.
just a form of bullying. Yeah.
And it also doesn't necessarily even have to be weight, right? Because it
Right.
could be like, you have gray hair, you have, this. Like I was reading an article about older people feeling like body shamed because like gray hair, they have to walk with a cane, or,
Right.
like this, and then people might make comments or, get impatient because they're behind them. And so I just read an article that really challenges us to expand our definition of
Yeah.
body shaming, to include things like that. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I would have never thought that, but that's true. That would make me totally uncomfortable.
Right. I think I have here it says a scope of body shaming in why female, male. I think that's my echo there. And it includes, but not limited to, fat shaming, shaming of thinness, height shaming, like you were saying, all these different types of shaming, hair, lack of thereof, color, body type, masculinity, looks,
Wow.
facial features. So it really is a huge um it's a wide range. And the funny thing is, I don't think people realize they do it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think they realize they do it. And I'll say that because I remember seeing a commercial on Facebook and it was a couple, it was a husband and wife couple, and they probably were in their 80s. And
Right.
the dad, I mean, not the dad, the husband had on these like tight fit underwear, and she had on a pair of tight fit with a bra, and they basically were, showing the underclothes or whatever. And of course, I had to go in the comments because I wanted to be newsy and see what was going on, and
Right,
it was
right.
off the chain. Like I mean, you had some people who were just like, "This is beautiful. I'm glad we're
Yeah,
showing different types of bodies instead of one." You know what I mean? In
right.
different ages. But then you had the other group that was just like, "This is horrible. We should do this. And why is she so saggy? And why is this so?" And it was just like, wow, like
Yeah,
people just spit these things out, not realizing that it's harmful to other people. These are real people that are modeling these things. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember there was a commercial, and I'm trying to think what it was for. It
Uh-huh.
was for like a hand. I don't know if she was doing like a nails or something. I think it might have been an Instagram, not a commercial. I think it was an Instagram picture or something. And people
Uh-huh.
were commenting on how old the lady's hand looked. I was like, serious? Like, seriously, this is what we're commenting about? And there was like back and forth. Well, you can tell. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Because they're like, well, you can tell how old she is because of her hands and this and that. And I'm just like, wow.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah, people
And
nitpick the
that could
craziest
not
thing.
be true because you could just have older hands and be completely young. Like you don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to just
But my point, yeah, but like, so what? You know what I mean?
right.
I'm like, so I actually, before my phone dies, because my
Uh-huh.
phone is I want to read a message that I got from a lady that I know. My phone's at 5%. So
Uh-oh.
she, yeah, it's real over here. So she messaged me. We were talking about, she saw the show was on body shaming, right? And I
Yeah.
want to use her words because I think they're powerful. So she said she went to a yoga studio
Uh-huh.
about a month after her parents died to heal.
Uh-huh.
She called the instructor and told the instructor that she was fragile and that she said, I'd stay in back of the class and try to relearn yoga, but I was seeking healing.
Mm-hmm.
Class was going well. She put me up front. We got to the ego pose, and in front of everyone, she says, you are way too fat to try this pose. Just do children's pose. I froze. I went into children's pose and tears poured out of me quietly. A lady behind me crawled up to me and rubbed my back. Very
Oh,
kind, despite the mob hit from the yoga teacher.
wow.
I mean, I was like, that is crazy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy on so many levels. One, she explicitly told this lady what she was going through and why she was there, right? And that she wanted to be in the back. And the lady moves her up front and shames her in front of the entire class. So yeah, and it's what struck me as well as, I'm always thinking, you think of like people who do yoga or people who do this and that as being like, oh, they're kind and they're zen and, yada, yada. No, like they can be just as pretentious as anyone else. We lost your mic, Izzy. So while she gets back on, let's hit some comments.
There we go.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep, that's good. We hear you.
Oh,
So
good.
Breon says, what's up, Queens? What's up, Breon? Thank you for tuning in as always. We appreciate you. Charles
Charles
Breakley.
Breakley says, good evening, ladies.
Good
Hi,
evening,
Charles.
Charles. He says people always in a panic in this country. We were talking earlier about the gas and the toilet paper and all that. So you can add Izzy to that list. And he says a lot of times people shame other people to make themselves feel better. Yeah, and that's exactly
Yeah,
what I told her. I was like, that's exactly, it's sad but true. She was making herself feel better. And I was like, and
right,
she probably had a bunch of pretentious friends, Why else
right,
would you feel so
right,
comfortable to like, that's just
right. To
horrible.
just speak out loud. I mean, people, and I know this might sound crazy and kind of off, but I think that people are so used to just saying whatever on social media that they start to do it in real life. They just say
Yeah.
whatever and they don't, just not even considering people's feelings at all. It seems
Yeah,
like.
but I think people were like that before social media too. But we can get into that. Let's
Yeah.
finish this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Ms. Watson says, or I can't read, sorry. Society does this to people. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think it's a bunch of things because we don't know. It's almost like just like what happened in this lady's life with her parents dying, and then this, she went there for healing. The same person who said that to her, who knows what was in her childhood? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like people go through so much, and you just don't know. So I think society can embolden people to do things, but I think also people they're dealing with so much stuff themselves. And
Right.
Charles Brakely says, "Wow, that's horrible." Yeah, it really is. It really is. So I know,
I'm over
Izzy, you
here.
wanted to get into the social media aspects. We can talk about that. I mean, my point of view on that is, like I said, I think people, if we think about it, we've been, we're women of a certain age, and so it's not like bullying and people talking about people's bodies weren't around when we were young. I was like super 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 thin.
Yeah.
And so that's why I got teased for being like way too thin. Um so yeah. And that was, way 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 long ago.
Yeah. But back then, I have this echo and I don't know why it's here, but I'm going to try to fix it. But back then, it didn't seem, I mean, it was bad, but it's like 10 times worse because of social media. Because if your friends just did it in your little town, that's different. But then when you
Yeah.
post a picture of yourself and everyone says something about it, thousands and thousands and thousands, it becomes um, a little bit different. I think that when I was coming up, I was super tiny. Middle school, high school, I was about 74 pounds, and I'm short. I'm like 4'11", so I was really tiny. No one, and most of the guys saw me as like a sister. I didn't because I was so
Right.
short and so tiny. But when I started like doing like modeling, um, they would say that I was too heavy for my height. And
Right.
this was
Yeah.
around 95 pounds. I needed to be a little bit more slimmer. And so I had gotten into trying to become slimmer and skinnier and shave off parts. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want the butt area to be too big. So I do, exercises to try to thin that down and to thin the legs and make sure there was like a specific gap in between the legs when I took the
Right.
picture. And eventually in my head, it was like, okay, I have to be this certain image in order to model. This is the only way I'm going to be able to get these parts to model. You know what I mean? I have to
Right.
be this certain size. And it carried over into adulthood. After I had both of my 10-pound babies, I was like, I got to get skinny. I got to get thin. This is the way that I'm supposed to look. I have to have this
Right.
certain image. But now in my 40s, I'm like, dude, however the cake falls when I eat it, if it lands in that thigh, then guess what? It's going to stay in that thigh. But I'm more concerned with having a um, healthy lifestyle
Right.
and a healthy body versus being skinny. Before it was,
Right.
I had to be a zero. If I wasn't a zero, then I couldn't get the clothes that I like, and but that's the shaming that I experienced when I tried to model. Just because, and I can't imagine, like I wasn't like on like any fabulous magazine or anything. I can imagine what
Right.
they go through to make money. You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Well, even what you were saying about like people putting the pictures on social media and everybody just swarms in and comments
yeah,
like yeah, you're right. It's like definitely more eyes. And when you're talking about like pregnancy and then having the baby and lose weight, that's why like I cannot stand the snatchback celebrity after
right,
pregnancy. The way the media like glorifies people, they'll put them on either TV or, like you said, Instagram, or there'll be an article that literally is like, oh, she just had her baby 4 weeks ago, and look at her, she looks great. It's just too much pressure. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
and that's what they do.
I
A smash
appreciate
back.
Sin Cobra, and she just started posting like videos of her body, like her real body. And she's like,
Yeah, I
dude, this
saw
is what
that.
it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
what my stomach looks like when I wiggle it. When I turn around, this is what my thighs, I have veins here. And I appreciate that, because seeing her, knowing she's a mom and she has these things, and it's good to talk about it and to show videos like this is real. Your
yeah,
body is not everybody's body is going to go back to that. And then as far
yeah.
as superstars, they have like personal trainers, chefs. Sometimes they have surgeries. Sometimes it's makeup that they're doing to make themselves look a certain
Right.
way. It's funny and it's kind of off the subject, but on the subject, I had this image that I had to be perfectly pictured when I had my kids. Like I wanted to be having after I had my baby. When you took a picture of me, I wanted to be holding my baby with my makeup on.
Oh,
That did not
really? Yeah, yeah. No,
that did
no,
not happen
no.
at all. Yeah, that didn't happen at all. But yeah, so I think that superstars now they're starting to take a stand and say, hey, this is what I look like. But before it wasn't like that at all. I'm like, dude, how in the world did her stomach get that flat? She just had a baby like 2 weeks ago.
I know, I know, I know. And then I think, yeah, I think you're right. After you mature for a while, then you're just kind of like,
Right.
okay, this is, I want to be the best me that I can be. I want to feel at my best. I want to feel confident in how I look. And if that
Right.
means that I'm going to work out or I'm going to do that, that's just, that's me. That's my business. But I'm not
Right.
doing it for, approval of anyone other than me feeling like, okay,
Right.
I'm doing it for me. Um, the other thing I was going to say, going into the body shaming, and I'm like, this is so true. When you look at TV, movies, and stuff, the big characters, like the big actors and stuff, they're always a sidekick. They're always the funny one, right?
Right.
Like the big girl in the movie is always the one that's cracking jokes and I think it wasn't until what's that show? This Is Us. I started watching it, but then I didn't want to fall into a deep depression because that show is like every episode is like super sad to me. But I think she was one of the first actresses, I believe, that was like a large woman that they did not really put in a comedic role. You know what I mean? And she had like a romance interest and all of this that you don't typically see, for a larger size woman. And I think on the same side with the men, I think men get body shamed into the same thing when they are, if you ever watch, like when you watch television shows about families, the dads are usually like larger, and the larger dads are usually like goofy, right? So, they usually have like this really beautiful wife who's like the smart one, and they're like the dumb guy one. So I think it happens, it's like so subtle if you're not paying attention to it.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because a show comes to mind and I was watching it with Cass and the dad was super huge. He was really, really goofy. You know what I mean? He was a big, big guy. And the mom was
Yeah.
super tiny, super pretty. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, yeah, you don't. It's just kind of like you watch it and you're just kind of desensitized to it and you're like, oh
Right.
yeah, he's funny. But yeah, it's rare that they put a guy on that's like larger but not, yeah, being
Yeah.
goofy or dumb. Um, so let's go to some comments. We have some comments. I don't want them to build up. So Charles Brakely says, if you are healthy, then who cares what society says? Yeah, I wish it was that easy, but it's not. I think for some people it's that easy. I think certainly for like the young ones and our teenagers and, in their 20s, like younger generation, I think it's really, really hard for them to adapt that mentality.
Yeah.
The next comment says, a lot of those celebrities get plastic surgery after they have babies. Yes. And they don't talk about it, and it leaves a false sense of this is what we should be doing. It's almost like you feel like a failure if you had a
Right.
baby and you're not back to your normal weight in like 4 weeks. The next comment Miss Milborn says, hello, ladies. Hello to you. I don't know if you're Mrs., but sorry if you are. Hello. And Charles Rakely says, I think it's more pressure on women than men. Yeah, that's 100% facts. And I think the thing, I'm just going to keep talking, Izzy, till you jump in, because you're
Oh
playing.
yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
know
I'm
you're
trying
having an echo issue. So,
to figure out what the echo is coming from here.
okay. We can't hear it on our side, just so you know.
Okay, all right, then we're good.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Yeah,
I think
I was gonna say
go
I've
ahead.
even I've read once that and I can't remember which superstar this was, but she literally had her baby and they gave her a tummy tuck like right there on the spot, like right after.
What?
And I was just like, and
Seriously?
even
Ugh.
when I had my when I had Caleb, he had destroyed my abdominal wall. So I have no abdominal wall. And immediately
Right.
the skin is just there. And I went to like a women's visit, and at the women's visit, they upsold me a tummy tuck, just a
Oh
regular women's
wow.
visit. And she's like, by the way, you have this going on, but we could also combine it all in one and give you a tummy tuck. You can get rid of that excess skin. And I'm just like, dude, no, we're not doing that. It's not, necessary. And to me, I mean, unless it's a health issue, that's a way of body shaming as well.
Do you
Because I
think
was
so though? Because like for me, I would have been like, okay, yeah, handle this.
oh no, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have felt shamed about it because it's not
Yeah, I
like,
know.
I mean, just because again, I mean, I just, because I think sometimes, I don't know, like I feel like sometimes if we want to do certain things, again, for ourselves, not to please other people, that it's okay to do it. If you want to get a tummy tuck, if you want to get like a facial thing, I'm trying to figure out how to deal with these bags underneath my eyes. So, I don't think that's necessarily a bad, or but maybe because maybe if they assumed that's what you wanted, then
Right.
I could see that. But
Right. Yeah, it was more of an upsell to have this done because the appointment that I was going to had nothing to do with that. It was for something
right.
completely different. It was like a well woman's visit. And she was just like, oh, by the way, we could do this, this, and this. And I'm thinking it's like,
Girl.
in my head, she was performing the surgery already. And I was like, nope, because I'm not a surgery kind of person. Unless it becomes a health issue, then I'm like, okay, cool, like chop it off or whatever. But at that
Um,
time, and then I was always kind of like, very self-conscious of it. But I totally admire any woman that could get on social media and just show everything. I
yeah,
always wanted to just, to be able to do that because I find that we're conditioned to make ourselves look a certain way. Even I do it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The
yeah,
chances of
yeah.
me coming
You
on here
do it.
without lipstick and eyeshadow are very slim.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. You know what I mean? So we're conditioned to do this. And why are we conditioned to do this? Because we are what? Afraid of what? Some type of shaming of some sort. Oh,
Right.
girl, did you see her bags? Oh, girl, she didn't have lipstick on. Her hair was a mess. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
help
Yeah.
but think
Yeah.
about that in the back of your head. It would take a
Yeah.
lot of it. Like, it would have to be, you're not going to put your makeup on, and I'm not going to put it on.
Oh
And
well, then
whoever else.
that's never gonna happen. So you're good. You're safe. But I hear you.
Yeah, that's the only
But
way.
that's
But
yeah.
we're so conditioned to that. It was like, okay, well, because you have a specific body shape, you have to wear like a sheer. If you wear a bathing suit, you got to wear a sheer over it. Why not? Why not take the sheer off? Why can't you just, But again,
Yeah.
it's that conditioning, and we accept that conditioning because we don't want to be shamed, body
Yeah.
shamed, or
Yeah.
any other type of shaming. So
And even like even like people, what would be the word? I don't know if like what's the word? Is it oogling or something? You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about, I think sometimes people think of body shaming as people who are like larger, right? Or like
right.
you were saying, super, super skinny. But, what if, someone is like really, really shapely? She wants to walk around without being like, eyed like crazy.
Right.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So I
Right.
think that's the other thing, because there are certain things that you just can't help. You know what I mean? So, and because someone is shapely, does that mean that they need to walk around with a pillowcase on? You know what I mean? No, they want to show their figure without, feeling like a piece of meat, I guess, is what I'm
Right.
saying. So I think it works in that direction as well. That it's not all
Right.
so we
So
have some
thinking
more
about,
comments. Oh,
oh,
go
good.
ahead.
I was gonna say, thinking after we come back to talk about body shaming, not just on like social media, but like on TV. Have you experienced seeing any of that? But we'll go to questions first and then comments.
Okay.
We have Miss Milburn says, I mean, we as women, we body shame ourselves. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's what Izzy was
It's
talking
true.
about.
Charles Brakely says, if it's okay, you are doing certain things to yourself, but when you do it because of someone else, then it becomes a problem. That's
Yeah.
true.
100% agree.
That is very true. But yeah, we body shame ourselves on a. I probably did it before I came on the show, honestly, without even
Yeah.
a second thought. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Like
Yep.
I put on a dress and I was like, dude, now that's gonna look a certain way. I'm gonna look too fat. My stomach's gonna be out this way.
Right.
So I think that's a common thing, and it goes back to that conditioning that we have. But I tell you one thing: when you become, like I said before, I was so focused on being super skinny and thin all the time. That was like my thing. Now
Right.
I'm just like, it is what it is, and I have a certain sense of freedom. Now there's certain things that I won't, feel comfortable with, but for the most part, compared to what it was before, I'm more
Right.
confident in that. And it's just to be free, to know that you can be
Right.
yourself no matter what. And that's why I've been watching Sin's most recent videos, and I just love that. And she's just free, and she's like, hey, this is where I am right now. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
This age, I have children, and this is what it's going to be. So, yeah.
Do you think it is? I'm going back and I'm just playing devil's advocate. Do you
Uh-huh.
think that it is body shaming? Let's say, going back to what you said, let's say you want to put on something, you put it on, it doesn't look right, and you're like, if I wear this, I'm going to look too fat. Do you think that is body shaming yourself, or do you think that is you wanting to feel confident, look like you feel like, okay, well, I feel more confident when I put this on, or when I wear this? If I wear this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying, that's the balance
Right.
for me, I think, is like, at what point are you body shaming? And then at what point are you just really being like, you know what, that just doesn't look good. Like,
Right.
point blank, it don't look good. I don't want to wear it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
So that doesn't look good. Looks like, wow, that doesn't look good. And you move on. Body shaming is
right.
like, this doesn't look good. I'm just too fat. I shouldn't have ate that last week.
Yeah.
Everybody else is skinny, but I'm fat. Everybody else has more meat and I'm skinny. Everybody else
Right.
has more, clear skin, but I have bumps. When you start putting yourself down, that's when the
Yeah.
body shaming comes in. Or you
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
considering what other people are saying about you is when the body shaming comes
Yeah.
in. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah. No,
you're
I
putting
know.
yourself down. And I'm sure there are
When you said
lots
that,
of people.
I was thinking about. So here's one of the things that it's so dumb now when I think about it, but
Uh-huh.
it took me a long time to get over it, and I always wanted like cheekbones, right? So when we were growing up, like people who had like the cheekbones and that, like they were just considered like so gorgeous and
Right.
sexy and yada yada. And so I would try to like do like makeup to do it. And the other thing that I did, this was back when my girl Cindy Crawford was huge, was I used to wear like a little fake mole, right? Do you remember when people used to like really want to do like moles? Was I the only one? Like people loved,
No, no,
maybe this
no.
was a South thing. I don't
No, it
know.
was a
But it
thing.
was
Yeah.
like a little like a little pencil right here.
Right,
That's how
right,
I was.
right. That's
But it's like
hilarious.
dumb things. But this is your point. Like this is what we do. We look at other people and we
Right.
say, oh, society says that this feature is beautiful.
Right.
So, let me try to mimic this feature. So
Right.
I totally did that.
Yeah.
My
No,
little
I don't think I wasn't into the cheekbones, but I was into the distinctive jawline. So whenever I
mm,
lost weight, I made sure that I would even do like jaw exercises to make sure that I had that specific jawline.
right.
When I think of it, I think of it more of a like Jada Pinkett jawline. That was like my main
Okay.
goal, to make sure that it was slimmer. So when I ate, when I at that time I was dieting, I wasn't eating healthy. You know what I mean? I was
Right.
just trying to lose weight. I made sure that whatever I did made this jawline, made everything, my arms slim, my legs slim, and all of that. But I think we all went through that phase of just having like some craziness going on. And now you look at it and you're like,
Yeah.
dude, why? Why did
I
I
know.
even consider like
It's
going through all of that for what?
it's
For what? It's
crazy.
just and now just appreciate who you are in a sense. And
Yeah.
we're not gonna get over body shaming overnight because we're so conditioned to do it. You'd have to
Right.
really think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To
Yeah. Yeah.
to exercise stopping the whole masquerade that's going on inside of your head of shaming yourself against like just the clothes you wear or the certain makeup that you have on. So it would take a long time to like
Yeah.
get out of that. I think and as friends you probably do it to each other. I mean, I've never really had a group of girlfriends we were too bad with it, but I'm sure that
Oh,
goes on in
girl.
some circles too.
Yeah. No. I can't even say it on the show, but yes, I have had girls who tease each and forget girls. I'm gonna say women.
Right.
And then they tease for like something you don't have. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you don't got no butt. You don't have no that. You know what I mean? Like, oh please, you don't have no. But I'm serious. Like this is. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Um,
Right.
and speaking of that particular part of our bodies, it's different for different cultures. I feel
Right.
like there is like this general shaming, but depending on the culture,
Right.
certain features are seen as more attractive than others, right?
Yeah. That's
So,
yeah.
yeah,
I can see that. I've had a young lady that I knew, and in her culture, they were tiny, and she wasn't. She was in a sport, so she was pretty stocky. And she was like, Isabel, they tease me all the time because I'm stocky. I'm looking at her and I'm like, dude, I need to be like that. Like she was shaped
right,
pretty nice, but because of that, she was very self conscious of being muscular and being toned. She wanted to be
right,
tiny because that's what her parents told her she should have been. And they would
yeah,
try to
yeah,
they would try to get her to eat less, but that wasn't the case. It was that she was bodybuilding and working out that caused her to have, this specific frame, which I thought was absolutely gorgeous. So, but now, so think about it. We're body shaming ourselves. Friends are body shaming us. Society's body shaming us. Our family is body
yeah,
shaming.
yeah. They kind of tease. They
This
do
is
it in like
deep.
a teasing type of way,
Right,
right?
right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not really thinking about it until something comes up and triggers you and you're like, darn, and then now you're trying to fix this thing, you know what I mean? And you're trying to work around this conditioning. But we've got all these different realms that are coming at us. Family, friends, social media in general.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, let's look at some comments before we get into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
what do we do type of thing.
Charles Brakely says it definitely was a South thing. He's talking about your
Leave me
mole.
alone.
It's just
I
a South
know. I
thing.
know. Whatever.
Hey, Jamie. Jamie Mixon says, what about the people that feel uncomfortable around very fit people? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I think I mean, I don't know what to do about that. Like I can imagine. It's like going someplace. I've definitely been in situations where you're like I'm around this woman and she just looks like drop dead gorgeous. You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean? And she walks into the room or walks by or something and you're like, "Oh, snap, like I just need to go home and like lock myself in the room. But it's funny because it does just all of a sudden just happen. You know, you're
Right.
not, I don't think no one intentionally wants to beat themselves up,
Right.
but you know, it happens. I know that's happened to me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
As soon
Yeah.
as he says that, I thought about, I had gone to get, I love bagels, so I went to get bagels,
Yeah.
right? And the guy that was at the counter was like, he was built nice. Everything was toned. Like you could see the
Right.
muscles through his shirt. And I immediately started explaining why I eat bagels.
Did you to him?
Yeah. It's just, I was like, and so I remember saying, because Will is always on that COVID curve kick, right? I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, ever since I started eating these bagels, I started getting COVID curves.
That is hilarious.
But he
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
fit. I felt like
Yeah.
I had to explain to him, as a person who has been into fitness, why I wasn't as fit anymore.
Right.
And to me,
Yeah.
that's body shaming too. Because
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
were
You're body
comfortable in my
shaming yourself.
skin, right there on
Yeah.
the spot. But it made me feel comfortable explaining to him why I was eating all these daggone bagels.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, like, going back to that comment. So what about people that feel uncomfortable around very fit people? And then I almost like wonder, what is it that makes a person uncomfortable around very fit people? Like, you want to be very fit as well, and you're
Right.
not there. And I think in a situation like that, then I mean, I'm trying not to. So I'll just say what's on my mind. So in a situation like that, I feel like, well, if it's something that you want to change, then are you willing to go through what they went through to get there? Right? So I think
Right.
that's the other thing too. And again, I think that's why I kind of like, it's hard for me with the body shaming thing sometimes,
Right.
because I'm like, well, if you want to be fit because you want to be healthy, because you want to be more confident, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
Right.
wrong with recognizing that, you know what, I am not where I want to be. And I'm around this person or these fit people, and I need to step it up.
Right.
So for me, that personally would be like motivation. Like, okay, but it always comes down to, are you willing to do what they did to get there? Because oftentimes we're looking at, the end result of something,
Right.
so we're not with them during the process. So that's what kind of came to my mind there. And if it's something, and if you aren't willing to do something to make yourself, more comfortable, and even if it's not you getting fit, but even if it's just working on yourself, recognizing the attributes that you have, then, don't be around them
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Now, wanting to do that is not body shaming. That's
Right.
wanting to,
Right.
to improve yourself or make yourself happy or just get fit. That's fine. The body
Yep.
shaming comes in when all of a sudden, like he said, all your girlfriends are fit and they ask you to come over, and then you don't want to come over anymore because they're all in shape and you're feeling like you're not in shape. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a way of like body shaming, or not wanting to go to the gym because they're all fit and you're not, and you're going to feel like you're not going to look the same,
Yeah.
as in the case as yoga. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
that just blows my mind because I've seen people of all different shapes do yoga. And don't get it twisted, because I'm short and I'm tiny, but I can't do yoga. There's no way I'm fixing myself in those positions. I'm just not a yoga
Right.
person. So for
Right.
her to say that just blows my mind because I've seen different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go to the next comment.
Miss Milburn says, I'm learning to be more comfortable with myself and my skin. Yes,
Yes.
that is awesome.
That is, and it is a process. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's a process. It's nothing. I don't think, none of us woke up one day and we were just like, boom, I'm the bomb. I'm good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, like it's like a process that you have to work through, and starting, you know, and I think too, oftentimes it really has nothing to do with the outside of us. You know,
Right.
we have to deal with that internal stuff that we have been hurt by, traumatized by, you know, all of that stuff. But we project that stuff on how we look on the outside because that's easier to deal with. It's easier to
Yeah.
deal with, you know, fixing your outside than it is resolving issues within you. So,
Right.
you know, that's
Jamie Mixon says, truth, many lack the internal fortitude to live the fit life. And to your point, it's a fear of the unknown. That's
yeah,
true. It could be a fear of of the unknown.
yeah. And I
Miss
think
Milburn,
I was
I'm
just
sorry,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
real quick, the internal fortitude to live the fit life. Yeah, I mean it is I think too we can even get into, you know, once you get fit, because I think even in the fitness community, people are still body shaming themselves. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, I am athletic, but I'm not as muscular as this person, or I'm
Right.
not, you know, as lean as this person. So I think we all do it, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Izzy, if
Oh no,
you're
you're
gonna.
good. Miss Milburn says people are comfortable around fit people because we want to be fit, but not willing to ask how they do it.
I mean, but that's a real thing.
Yeah,
If you don't want to ask, but you know what? You can always Google.
I know, right? There's so
You know what
many
I
different
mean?
ways.
Like for real, you can always Google and find new things, and you know. And if you're around people who really care about you, they should have no problem with you asking. They'd be honored. Like
Right,
I'd be honored if somebody were to ask me advice on whatever.
right,
Okay.
right. Charles says, I think a lot of times people are trying to get fit, but are sometimes not willing to put in the work. And when they see someone that is in shape, they feel the need to explain why they're not. It's true. And it can be
Can't be
positive
just
thing as
that.
well. Motivation for that person who is not in shape. Did I stop going to get bagels? No, I went back next week and he wasn't there and I was good.
Yeah. So I think it's motivation too. I
Yeah.
think the other thing I want to go back. We don't have to show her comment, but I think Miss Milburn also said feeling comfortable and with herself and her own skin, and then that's the other thing. Especially, I think not just in our community, but I know in other communities deal with the different shades of colors. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and I know I definitely struggled with that growing up, being a darker skinned, you know, child slash, you know, now woman.
Right.
So, you know, when that wasn't in, you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of went back to, yeah, you're right. Social media definitely amplifies things, but
Right.
it's not new. It hasn't invented. It didn't invent body shaming at all.
Yeah.
So
I
Izzy,
wanted to
how did you get past? What was it for you that helped you get past, you know, how you were feeling about yourself?
how I got past it was I just think the maturity and the busyness and not having the time after having kids to do the things as meticulously as I did before. You know what I mean? Like before I had
Right,
kids, it was like I was working out 5 days a week in the gym in the morning, go to work in the gym in the afternoon. And then when I
right,
had kids, it was just like, okay, listen, I'm not going to be able to do that. So this is going to be okay. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you
right,
first get your first house, everything's perfect. And then after a while, you're like, you know what? It's okay if my friend comes over and the books are off the shelf or, there's
right,
socks on the floor. I had gotten to that point. Um, and as far as like shaming myself, the way that I stop it now in any kind of shaming is if I have a mirror nearby or a phone, I look myself like if I see someone that's pretty and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I wish I had. I wish I could. You know what I mean? You know how we go.
right,
We go into those phases of that. I'll go into a
right.
mirror and be like, you know what? I am perfectly made. I am
Yeah,
beautiful. I am smart. I am, and I constantly build myself up and I just make
right.
sure I nip that in the bud right away because it all it is conditioning of, and a fear.
Right.
So I make sure that, right, even if something like, if I don't think I'm smart enough, I'll just say I am wise, I am smart, I am where I need to be at this very moment. And I just continue to say
Right.
those things over and over and over again. Otherwise, if I sit in that moment and just continue to compare myself to other people, it becomes
Right.
nasty and it comes up later. Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I
about
think
you?
that's great. I think what I learned over time is that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, so that's, but seriously, like I had to learn that, like I'm not everybody's cup of tea, whether it's
Right.
like, however I look, or, the way I talk, or the way, or whatever it is, that
Right.
I mean, because I do recognize that I do have people in my life who do love me, who do care for me, who do, and that doesn't necessarily have to do with anything on the outside, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
I think that's something that and guess what? Everyone's not my cup of tea either. So I think
Mhm.
I just got to that point where it's like everyone's not going to like me. I'm not going to like everyone, and it is what it is. And for those things that I feel like I want to feel more confident about for myself, then I work on those things.
Right.
The things that, but I also know, like, okay, and I think it goes back to what you said earlier, Izzy, that a lot of people are coming out now and just showing who they are, like real deal, who they
Right.
are. And everybody has an imperfection. I don't care. Like everybody loves Beyonce. Beyonce has things about herself she doesn't like. It's just a human thing. So I think once I recognized that, then that helped. But I'm saying it kind of nonchalantly now, but it's definitely something you have to grow into, and it's a process.
Yeah. We're all beautiful in our own way. We're all unique. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
all unique in our own way. And I'm not going to catch the eye of the person that's meant, uh, of the person that is meant for me. You know what I mean? Whoever thinks that I'm pretty is going to think that I'm pretty. If they're not, they're not, like you said. So
Yeah.
there's a
Yep.
saying, and I'm trying to get the quote in my head. I'll see if I can find it. Um, but it basically says that you attract your tribe in a sense that they're attracted to your heart and your soul, and not so much of the outside and
Right.
the material things. But that's important to know, and that gets into like the spiritual side of everything, and knowing who you are as an individual, and that comes with
Yep.
age and maturity. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. And
harder
I
when
think
you're
too, like we
yeah,
both have kids. I think too, speaking it into them. You know what I
right,
mean? Like speaking it into them so that way they don't grow up, and especially now because they're all in the social media, that we are providing them that, and I understand like everybody thinks their baby is cute. You know what I mean? So like I get that. But a lot of people, you'd be surprised at the number of kids and people who did not grow up with people that's actually loving on them just for them. You know
right,
what I mean? That's telling them that, yeah, you are great, you are this. We take that for granted because I think we're older and we grew into it. But
yeah.
yeah, I think we have to pour that into to our kids as well. We have some comments.
Okay, awesome.
Let's hit that.
Willie Francis says, "Amen for the stopping that thought before it takes hold. We are
Yeah.
beautiful and wonderfully made in God's image. I see myself as God sees me." That's beautiful.
Yes.
That
Amen
is
to
very
that.
beautiful. Charles Brakely says, "It's what's internal that counts." It
It
really
is
does.
so true. Because there's a lot of handsome and beautiful people out there that are not nice people.
Exactly. Miss Milborn says, "Beauty is skin deep." It is so true.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I've met people that are just like, I'm like, really? Or they're so gorgeous, but then their heart is just wrong, or their
Yeah.
mind is
Yeah.
not right. But I
And
wanted to
sometimes
say
they're like
earlier,
the most self-conscious people, right?
yeah,
Because they gotta like maintain that image all of the time.
Right.
So, and the other thing is we don't know what's going on with them in their home life. They're probably not probably, but they could be, struggling with things that we don't want to struggle with. So
Right.
they
Right.
can keep that.
I was thinking of something funny earlier. Well, earlier you were talking about how you were conscious of your skin, and immediately I thought about Cass and I, because I didn't like the fact that she would call African Americans black or this or that. So I started to identify people as lattes. So when you said that you were self-conscious of your
Yeah.
skin, I wanted to say your mocha latte is very beautiful.
Mocha
And I call her like a chai latte.
Mocha latte. I'll
Mocha
take
latte.
it.
So Cass will be like, Mom, what are you? I said mocha latte. And she's like, oh, mocha latte.
That is hilarious.
Those are ways, if we change the way we think, we change the way we speak, and that was her language.
Yeah.
She got that. And so it's like, oh, no, I'm not black. I'm not the color black. This is black. I am mocha latte. That's, and that's cute for her. And I'm thinking she's going around telling her friends she's mocha latte. They're like, what in the world is going on?
Yep. Yeah. That's
but
cute.
We have to change when it comes to body shaming, change our thought pattern immediately. As soon as this thought comes up, replace it with something positive. You know what I mean? Change our language, change what we see, change what we read, change the circles that we're in. I mean, if you have circles where people are just body shaming you out the door, you need to, you got to find what's right for you. If you're going to sit around them and they're going to body shame you and it makes you body shame yourself, you got to be aware of that so you can make those changes. Yeah.
And people will always let you be the butt of their jokes. You know what I mean? So it's up to you. Like, you got to walk away from that situation, because otherwise, if you're not there, guess who they have to reflect on? Themselves.
Right.
And they don't want to do that. So they want to turn that, attention to you and laugh and kiki, with what you have going on. And it's up to you to stay there or go. So,
and you can always change. You can change it. Like, even if you have a social media presence, you don't have to have the comment section on. You can cut the comments off. I know a lot of, a lot of superstars that do that because they don't want to hear. They don't want that negativity to even enter their realm. So it's totally up to you. You can tune them out, not hang out with them for a while. It's not to say that you don't have to hang out with them at all, or just to until you feel confident enough to be around people who are doing such things like that. Block them on social media. It's important that you self-preservation is what it's called. And so when you feel that you're being bullied in this sense, then you have to step up and make some changes. Yeah,
I agree. We have a
commercial, or do we have more comments?
Oh, let's hit the commercial. We can hit comments when we come back.
We will hit commercial and come back.
Exciting commercial, you guys. Hold on.
That is my favorite A-game commercial. I love that one. I want to get the lights and do it behind stage. It's so cool.
You probably can. Order it off of Amazon, girl. You can get anything off of Amazon.
If anyone is interested in the A-game, you have to reach out to Charles Brakely. You can send us a message, and he always has samples. You guys can try it out. So if you want to try out the A-game, it is for men only. Yes,
and it is
so
flying off the shelves. So don't
flying.
Yeah, don't.
Willie Francis says, "I am caramel." Okay, Willie, caramel, but you got to add the latte on the end. Caramel latte.
Yeah, or frap.
Or frappuccino.
Or frappuccino. I know.
So funny. That is so
Yeah.
funny. So before we leave, I have a social media outlet. So if at any point you're feeling as though you are being bullied, um, and body shamed online, any type of social media, you want to go to mediawatchdog.program. That's mediawatchdog.program. And you can report any type of bullying or shaming. I personally believe that we should build each other up. We are all different.
Yeah.
We're all made specifically for a purpose, big, small, whatever color, whatever nationality. I think that people should keep their opinions to themselves and not post them on social media. You cannot get rid of social media. And I say this because once it's on social media, even though you delete it, I've already screenshot it and I've sent it
Yeah.
to 1,000 people, and those 1,000
Yeah.
people have sent it to another 1,000 people. And you don't know how these people are feeling. They could be sad, they could be depressed, and you're
Yeah.
just pushing them further and further into a space that is not healthy. So I think we
Yeah.
should be very considerate of how we speak to each other, especially in sensitive times like this. This is a very sensitive era where a lot of things are not going right for people, and we need to like build them up. So be sure if you see any bullying, and the bullying doesn't have to be done to you. It could be done to
Right.
someone else and you don't like it,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
mediawatchdog.program, and we'll put that in the posting as well. Um,
Yeah. And I agree with you, Izzy. I think we got to stand up for each other. I think we
yeah,
spend on too many instances. We just like doing like the drive by. You see a car accident, you slow down and you're gonna look at it, but you didn't cause the accident. But you want
right.
to slow down and watch and see what's happening. You know what I mean? So I think that happens a lot where and I've done it. So I'm not I'm talking to myself, as
Right.
well, where you see people say things and then you just kind of like, ooh, let me jump into the comments. Hashtag I'm
Right.
just here for the comments, and
Right.
just read and not say anything. So I love that there is actual, because I know I don't want to say something for fear of people gonna be jumping all on me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I like that there is this site that you can go to and do something, anonymous to stop
Yeah.
it. And yeah, we got to look out for each other. We got to look out for ourselves, for each other.
Yeah.
We are
And I
our
know I'm
brother's
gonna get
keeper.
hit hard with this, and people are gonna probably be like, "Well, she's just thinks she's above and beyond." But a lot of people post a lot of comments that are shaming, like posts and memes and things like that that make fun of certain nationalities, certain races, certain
Yeah,
your ethnicities, weight, whether you're fat or skinny or not. You know what I mean? I don't.
yeah,
I think that that's a way of bullying as well, because who's reading that post? You know what I mean? If someone is
right.
overweight and not feeling good about themselves and seeing that, and I know we can't be responsible for, but we could try to help out and be a little bit more sensitive towards people's
Yeah,
feelings, because you never know
yeah.
who's going to see that post.
And
But
even, you know what we could also do? We could also come back with the opposite. Right?
right,
Like if somebody's coming at somebody, like you see them and they are like shaming somebody, find something beautiful about that person. Find something and put that in the comment. You know what I
right,
mean? Because I think sometimes you can change the direction of what's happening. A lot of times people are just waiting for someone else to step up and do it. And that could be
right,
a way where you're not like, hey guys, stop commenting, stop doing this, but more so like, you know what? I think she has beautiful eyes. Or I love her curves and I think
right.
she is this or he is that, you know what I mean? So I say come in with the opposite and try to change the conversation. And I bet if you do that, you will get people who will like your comment and
Yes,
agree with what you're saying. And that could
yeah,
be, the difference for that person because then they're like,
right,
oh, you know what I mean? I have some positivity here. So that's
right.
another way that we can help change the conversation.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
am so glad we had this talk. I'm
Yeah,
sure it
me
will go
too.
on again, because I mean, there's so many different types of, shaming out there that we could probably continue to go on with this topic. But I'm glad that everyone came in to share space with us today. We always
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
stopping by and saying hello. We appreciate your comments. If you are looking to hook up with us, be sure to check us out on LinkedIn at Feel Good Talk. Facebook, we're at Feel Good Talk. YouTube, we're at FGT Mind, Body, Soul, and Business. And Instagram, we're at feel.goodtalk. We're also at www.feelgoodtalk.net. Reach out to us. If you'd like to come on and you have a topic you wanted to discuss, send us a message. Be sure to like and share. If this message is not for you, it could be for someone else.
Yeah.
If you're looking to advertise your business, definitely send us a message. We could have your commercial air during one of our podcasts or on like a regular day on our regular feed. So be sure to connect with us. We love you guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
Izzy, before we go and do our heart, can we,
Oh, yes.
let's see if we can bring up the shows that we have. So we have a bunch of different shows. Let's see if we can
Oh,
get it
okay, cool.
out.
We have our live shows. We have Feel Good Talk Love 101 on Wednesday at 7 p.m. We have Let's Talk About It. That's us. Woo woo. On
Woo,
Thursdays
woo.
at 7 p.m.
You know.
Yeah, we have Williams World on Fridays at 6. We have Jamila J's Girl Talk on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. PST. And we also have Gimme Some Sugar. Yes, Baking with Steven on Sunday. And that is 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. PST. And we have something every day of the week. We also have Mindfulness Mondays, which is me. Yes, Mindfulness Mondays
Yay.
at 9 a.m. And
Start
then
your
we
week off with
have
Izzy. Get your mind
yes,
right.
meditate with me. I love
Yes.
that. We have Words from the Heart with Shayna Gordine on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. And then we have my girl, Kendra Moore, for More Life with Essential Oils on Wednesdays at
Yes.
9 a.m. And of course, we have my daughter, Cassandra's Corner on
Yes.
Saturdays at 10 a.m.
A little
So we have
superstar.
something every day of the week for everyone. And if you miss it, don't worry about it. We record it so you can go back and watch the recording as well.
Yes. And if you are in a space of you feel like you're beating yourself up and you need some positive, things and you want to listen to something positive between all of those shows, trust me, you will find something that can speak to your heart, that can uplift you and just make you hold your head up a little bit higher. And we got your back on that. So check out our programming.
Yes.
And now you can take us out.
I've been practicing. There it is.
Yes.
We love you guys. Be sure to check us out next week. Love
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for tuning in.